Okay, this is Unit 8 Radical Notes. So this is 8.3 Day 1 Rational Exponents. So our goal is to write rational exponents in radical form. And we can also have a goal of I can write radical exponents in exponential form. So we're going to be going between the two forms. Okay, so this is called your exponential form. And this one is called your radical form. Okay. Remember what I told you, this spot right here, this is your root. And then the other spot is your exponent. Okay, so I mentioned it the very first day, if anyone remembers, but we have, if we have no number on our root, that is an implied 2. So this would be like x to the 1/2 because the 2 is implied. Okay, so usually we don't write it, so just the square root of x, it's x to the 1/2. If we have the cube root of x, that's x to the 1/3. So whatever type of root we have, that becomes actually a fraction. So let's try it in a couple of our problems. So we are given the exponential form, and we want to do it in, rewrite it into the radical form. And I'm actually going to evaluate these as well. I know that's not on the directions, but we're going to also evaluate. So we have 36 to the 1/2. So remember, 1/2 is a square root. So this is the square root of 36 because technically the 2 would be right here, but we don't really need that 2. And the square root of 36 is 6. Okay, we know that one. Number 2. Okay, now we have a 3 down here. So this is the cube root of 125. So everyone needs to take their calculator because I know we don't have a cube root list, right? But if you don't have your cube roots memorized, we don't have a list written out, what you're going to do is you're going to use your calculator and you're going to have to type 3. Okay, so first you're going to hit 3. Next you're going to hit second. That's funny that second is second. And then third, you're going to hit this little, I like to call it like a caret button. But you can kind of see above it, like when I zoom in, it has like the little X there. That tells you what type of root you want. So if it's fourth root, fifth root, whatever, that's the number you type first. We have a third root, so that's why I write 3. So then we'll hit that button. And then you type whatever number you have. So in this case, we would do 3, second, the caret button, and then 125, and then hit enter. And on your calculator, it should come up like this, like a 3, then has this little X symbol, and then your radical, and then 125. I think it has even a parenthesis in there. And then if we have more things to evaluate, you would end the parenthesis, but if it's just doing the one radical, you can just hit enter right then. Okay, so I really want you guys to be doing these in your calculator along with me and along with the video. That way you know what you're doing. If you're at home and you are doing homework, I really like to use the calculator app Numworks. Okay, it's Numworks. You can download it on your iPhone or your Android. So here, let me see if I can change my screen. So here's my entire screen. So here's what the calculator looks like on my end. And on this one, you just hit this little toolbox and see how the first thing comes up is nth root. And you hit OK. Oh, this one you have to put the 3 here. And then you would do 125 and hit evaluate. And that's how you would get the 5. Okay, so enough of that. So this is 5. Okay, now we're doing 16 to the 1/2. So this is going to be the square root of 16, which is 4. Okay, number 4, the cube root, because the 3 tells us the cube root of 343. So we're trying to figure out what number times itself 3 times in a row gives us 343. And if we do the cube root in our calculator, we get 7. Okay, fifth root of 32. So fifth root of 32. So this is the one where you have to hit 5, hit second, and then this button, and then hit 32. And when you enter it all in, you should get 2. Because if you do 2 to the 5th power, then that becomes 32. Okay, 1,000 to the 3rd power, or 1,000 to the 1/3 power, so that's the cube root of 1,000, which is 10. Number 7. Okay, now remember the top number is the power. The bottom number is the root. So this is the cube root of 64 all to the power of 2. So the cube root of 64 is 4. So you're going to put that in your calculator. Now we're going to do 4 squared, which is 16. Okay, number 8. So we have 216 to the 2/3 power. So 3 on the bottom, this is the cube root of 216, and all of this is squared. So if we take the cube root of 216, that is 6. So this is 6 squared. 6 squared is 36. So you're going to have to do these in 2 parts, 2-part steps. 32 to the 3/5 power. So this is the 5th root of 32, and all of this is cubed. So we just did this in one of the problems above in number 5. 5th root of 32 is 2. So this is 2 cubed. Oh my god, that was my cat. She was just running around like a crazy woman. And then 2 cubed is 8. Okay, so this is 7x to the 5/3. So this one we're not going to evaluate, but we can still rewrite it into radical form. So this is the cube root of 7x, and this is 7x to the, and all of that's the 5th power. Okay, when you're done writing, flip the page. So now we have the radical form, and we want to rewrite this in exponential form. So on these ones, we're not going to evaluate. We are just going to be rewriting them, just practicing rewriting. So this is the square root of 121. Remember, if we have something like this, okay, the root is our denominator of our fraction. So the n goes on the bottom of our fraction, m goes on the top. So this is the rule we're going to be using. I suggest writing this down. Okay, make sure you write it down. So if we do 121, remember, this is like a 2 here. So this becomes 121 to the 1/2. Okay, number 12. 625 to the 1/4. 13. 289. Okay, remember this is like a 2 here, so to the 1/2. 14. 512. Okay, we have a 3, so this is to the 1/3. Okay, number 5. So it is the cube root of 512 all to the 4th power. So this is the 3 is the bottom of the fraction, 4 is the top. So it's 512 to the 4/3. 16. So 3 is the bottom, 5 is the top. So this is 8 to the 5/3. 17. Okay, 4 is our root, 3 is the power, so it's 256 to the 3/4 power. Okay, 18. Remember, this is a 2 here, so this is 9 to the 3/2 power. 19. So this is 1,000,000 to the 5/6 power. Okay, last one. So it's 343 to the 2/3 power. So here is all of them if you missed any. So for our homework is going to be this puzzle worksheet. Okay, so make sure you're reading the directions. The first 4 is just rewriting them. 5 through 8, again, is just rewriting them. The last ones, though, that is where you're going to evaluate. So this is where you're going to get a real answer. Okay, so 125 to the 1/3 power, or the cube root of 125, yeah, we're going to evaluate that, okay? And that one we actually did. We know what that is. That was number 2 on the notes. So we know that number 9 is going to be 5. Oops, it's going to be E, right? So that means down here in the puzzle, where it says 9, that's where we're going to have E. E will go right here. Okay, 21 is kind of hard, so if you can't do that one, that's okay. By the process of elimination, you should get the final answer, but some of you might be able to get it.